today in an environment where we see a very high rates of lending, the equity market, such as what we have at the LUSE, must become an ideal thing for most of us who are looking for business capital to be able to scale up. And again, we must also be able to say it must become a very wonderful platform for those of you who are seeking to invest capital or to be able to fund business ideas. So the LUSE is therefore an ideal place that all of us can be able to utilize to be able to grow our businesses, but also to be able to provide our investment opportunities where we're able to focus our growth in terms of our wealth. So it is our earnest desire that all these interventions that we're making as an exchange of attracting businesses to exchange can provide solutions to anchor economic growth for Zambia. We believe that if we have to look at where we are now, our current market capitalization to GDP remains below 15%, and that also portends a very huge opportunity for us to be able to scale that particular number up, only if we then push as many businesses as possible to come to market. On the other hand, we are, as a LUSE, mandated to protect the investors who are bringing their capital to market for financing business ideas. That is why we are very proud that with 30 years of our existence, we have earned the trust from the market for our ongoing regulatory role, thus enabling us to be an ideal and very safe platform on which you can not only raise money, but also invest your money for growth. So in terms of our ongoing webinars that we're going to be having from today and obviously going through into the future, what are some of the key achievements that we intend to be able to achieve around this? So we hope to achieve the following in line with our goals and objectives for the exchange. Number one, we want to drive financial literacy on how all of us without exception can use the exchange to invest our money for growth. Number two, we want to drive increased interest among our businesses to be able to continue to use the exchange to raise capital to finance their long-term needs. Now, these businesses can be micro, small, medium, and large. All of us can then be able to see a need and solutions that can be enabled by coming to market to be able to raise your funding for growth. Number three, we hope to educate you, the general public, on the need to participate on the market, as that will also help us to drive improved corporate governance in the listed entities. And the more of us are participating by buying shares and becoming shareholders in these listed companies, we increase the voice of corporate governance, because you then be able to demand what is a best practice for these particular listed companies. And for us, that becomes quite a very huge opportunity for us to be able to drive these emotions across the market. And that's the reason why we are also urging all of us to be able to start buying shares now, because once you become a shareholder, you have a voice in terms of how these corporate entities must then be able to live up to corporate governance standards. So the more of you are participating, the more we can definitely be, comfortable to get to see that corporate governance will improve across the different listed companies. Number four, we also want to afford you an opportunity to learn on how you can successfully trade securities that are listed on the stock exchange. Number five, we also want you to be able to get to see how you can take advantage of the exchange and become entrepreneurial to create products that you can bring to list on the exchange. And this particular point is very close to my heart, because in many other markets where I've seen the exchange doing very well, it has been individuals as well as corporates that are bringing products to market. So there's nothing that stops you as an individual to create a product that you can then be able to bring to market and say, I want to list this product, on the exchange. So through our regular engagements on these open days, we hope we can then be able to drive the right sort of emotions for you to be able to start thinking outside the box and get to think of what products will be ideal for you to be able to list on the Lusaka Stock Exchange. We are also, in number 6, we're also able to use this platform as LUSE to assure you that the exchange is a safe place that you can use to be able to trade your securities, and it is also very well regulated. And I think in an environment now we have seen a lot of market failures, you do not want to start trading on a platform that is not very well regulated. And I think that's where the LUSE becomes quite very handy, because it then affords you a well regulated and safe place where you can then be able to trade securities.
So everything you do on the stock market goes through a licensed broker. Okay, so on the mobile app, you will find that before you can place any trade or any deal, it actually asks you to select which broker your deal is going to go through. So I'd explained obviously that whatever you do here, there are different players. Others are coming through mobile money, others are coming through a banking outfit. So there's a broker behind there who actually receives value from all these different sources. And then they're able now to consolidate and direct which ones they need to pay through bank transfers and mobile apps. So of course, we're going to be doing further development in the future just to make that seamless. So the role of the broker, the broker there is actually to manage the movement of funds in terms of the settlement. So especially when you are selling, it's a broker that actually will be able to send the funds to you. So everything you are doing on the market, even if you are doing it from your mobile phone, there is actually a broker at the back end who also gets a clocking of the deal you've done, and they're then able to manage the clearing and settlement process. Then in terms of the fees, so the rules obviously allow you to negotiate. So brokers are given a cap of 1%, not 10%. So brokers will charge you 1% as a fee, which is the maximum they can charge you per transaction. But in the event that you've negotiated with them and the commission is less than the 1%, then you can give them the instruction. They will load the transaction on the LUSE on your behalf, and then you will not be charged from the mobile account, because then you nominate to pay at that negotiated rate, and they will advise you where to transfer the funds.
With regards to the green bond that was listed on the market, it was the first green bond listed in the Zambian market, which was very exciting for us. So we're hoping for more green bonds to come. So really, this was issued by CEC Renewables, which is a subsidiary of CEC, Copperbelt Energy Corporation. So they issued this bond, and really it was to expand further in terms of going into the green space, green energy space. So with regards to this bond, it was what is called oversubscribed. So in other words, they got more in terms of demand for this particular bond. And what it is, it's broken down into what is called tranches. So there's a total value of the bond, and then it's broken down into tranches. So in other words, this particular tranche or this particular group will be issued now, and then it will be issued in the public now, and then there will be another tranche, which is then issued out and another tranche, until the total value is then finally, given to CEC Renewables. So, with regards to this green bond, as mentioned, because it's CEC Renewables who has issued, it falls under the bounds of a corporate bond, because the corporate who has issued it, but it's a very specific bond. As I said, it's a green bond. It's for green projects, green initiatives. That's what the proceeds, the monies will go towards those green projects. So with this green bond, like Mr. Simukoko said, in terms of the nature of corporate bonds, they don't often trade on the market. And really that is because the people who buy the shares at IPO, or rather not the shares, who buy the bond at IPO usually want to buy and hold onto it. So it's very rare. It can trade, and when it does, or it can, buyers and sellers can trade this, but this is on very rare occasions, and it's most likely we'll see that in this particular bond as well.